Hello. Hello. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today to talk about our company or product. My name is Alvarez. I've been with the company for 7 years, in the industry for 15 plus years. I'm based out of France, looking mostly after our European activities. And I'm pleased to talk here on behalf of Geno, proudly represented by Cornelius in Poland. So Genomatica is a US biotech. We are headquartered in the sunny California in San Diego. We've been around for 25 years already, mostly developing technology, fermentation-based technology for a variety of industries. What we do, in short, is we reinvent the way conventional chemicals are made, starting from plant-based sugar and making them more renewable, more sustainable. As I said, we've been already in the business for 25 years. Our innovation center is in San Diego. We are about 150 people. We do own something like 1,900 patents, so we have a strong IP position. And we mostly target carbon emission reduction by the use of biogenic carbon. We've been present in different industries, from textile to personal care, in industrial businesses, as well as in nutrition and home care. What we do at Geno essentially is engineering microorganisms to use a source of carbon, mostly sugar, to convert that source of carbon into chemicals. What makes us a leader in that space is the fact that not only we have the ability to convert and engineer microorganisms to convert those plant-based sugar into chemicals, but as soon as we start a new project, in the early stage of any project, we anticipate what we believe is the biggest bottleneck in fermentation-based technology is the yield in production. So our biologists work together, hands in hands, with the engineering team, and we anticipate how it would be scaling up such a project, so that when it comes the commercial aspect of the product, we are ready to be in an industrial mode with efficient conversion, etc. We use different types of sugar, mostly 1G sugar, which are not in competition with food as some people might think. We have some data around that. Happy to discuss that more in details at another occasion. But we mostly use dextrose from corn and wheat, or sucrose from sugarcane. We have been looking to other feedstock for the future, like 2G sugar from the biomass, as well as methanol and other source of carbon that we can convert into chemicals. By doing those conversions, we also look at the metabolic pathway and the intermediate that you can obtain from those conversions, so that we maximize the work we do when targeting one particular molecule and being able to play in different markets, so that we end up with a variety of products. We do work with partners, because without them we wouldn't be here. So we do have a long and existing partner with a variety of companies, with Lululemon, at Leisure brand, where we produce some precursor to nylon 6, so a bio-based nylon 6 and a bio-based nylon 6.6. We've been present in that space for quite a long time. We do have an industrial partnership around other molecules, HMD in coating plastics, biodegradable polymers, as well as textile with our flagship product 1,4-butanediol, and more recently with L'Oréal, Kao, and Unilever, who have invested in a joint venture called Future Origin, who is going to produce and industrialize and commercialize some fatty acid and fatty alcohol made from sugar fermentation. We have also recently announced a partnership with a Korean group named Hyosung, who is going to put $1 billion on the table to open a big production site in Vietnam to produce, based on the Geno technology, 1,4-butanediol, which is a precursor to things like spandex, lycra. So it's a big molecule for the textile industry. Before entering in the topic of today, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of our technology platform. So Genomatica has three main technology platforms that we refer to as the chain length, so C4, where we do have a bio-based butadiene. So it's something that we've been working around quite a long time. It's directly in competition with a French project in France managed by Michelin to produce a bio-based rubber. And within that platform, we have a 1,4-butanediol, which is our flagship product, as I mentioned, and also the 1,3-butene glycol that I'm going to explain a little bit more today. We have another platform that we call the C6 platform, where we produce things like caprolactam to obtain nylon 6, HMD to produce nylon 6,6, so that's more around the textile industry. But that said, within those pathways, we do have some interesting intermediate for the personal industries like adipic acid, which should be available soon. Finally, we have a third platform that we refer to as the long chain platform, which allow us to make almost anything between C8 to C16, so some fatty acid, fatty alcohol, branch molecule, or even chain, and we do have some degree of functionalization. We are already in the market with those products with an exclusive partnership with a Swiss/Romanian company named ACS, who produce some macrocyclic musk based on that technology, also in the fragrance space. And we are now expanding into the surfactant world with some precursor to surfactant with future origin. We do have also some more exotic molecule that we are evaluating their interest for the market, in particular in personal care, with some omega-7, which could be of interest. Now, let's dive into the butene glycol. So butene glycol is something that we've developed and launched in the market back in 2017. We have developed a production unit together with our client in Italy, where we do have about 7,000 ton capacity. We successfully produced at commercial scale back in 2018, and we are now successfully serving multiple markets directly or via distribution, like in Poland with Cornelius. We tend to say that our 1,3-butene glycol, called Brontide, that's the trademark, is good for the people because it's made from sugar, not from CMR, the typical acetaldehyde used to make the conventional 1,3-butene glycol, whether it is synthetic or from a natural origin. In both cases, you go through the acetaldehyde route, which is a CMR, and which could be concerning in the future. It is not irritant, so we did some HRPT tests to confirm that, but this is not significantly different from the conventional butene glycol. It is also good for the planet in the sense that because it is made from renewable sugar, and the use of carbon, the biological carbon, allow to reduce the carbon emission by roughly 50%. So every time you replace the conventional butene glycol with our material, you reduce your carbon emission by 50% compared to petroleum-based butene glycol. It is also good for formulators because it has the same INCI. So the common theme at Geno is not trying to introduce new molecule, but really to offer drop-in replacement to existing molecule, but being more sustainable, having a better profile. So in that sense, it is easy. It's a drop-in replacement. You can switch your conventional butene glycol with a material with no reformulation work needed. The process is quite simple because the complexity has been put in the microorganism. So on the top, you will see the conventional process to produce 1,3-butene glycol via acetaldehyde, whether it is from ethanol, so via a pure synthetic route, or via bioethanol from a naturally sourced material. In both cases, you convert the starting material into acetaldehyde, and then through multiple steps, you end up with your conventional 1,3-butene glycol. The beauty of our product, where the process that we use has won several prizes. We got the Innovation Award from EPA. We got a different award from multiple years. Is a process which starts with sugar. You put sugar together with the microorganism, and under the right fermentation condition, you convert that source of carbon. So starting from a C6, you end up with a C4. You convert that C6 carbon into a C4 molecule via fermentation. At one stage of the process, you have more microorganisms dying than product produced. So we pasteurize everything, remove the microorganism, and then through filtration and purification, you end up with a very pure material. It's very pure. It has almost no impurities. So this makes it quite different from the conventional butane glycol. The process is also compliant with the 12 principles of green chemistry, and it has a lot of efficiency. As I said, good for the people. Our butane glycol do not contain any residual metal, simply because we don't use any metal catalyst in the process. We don't use any methanol. The only solvent that we use is water. So the impurity profile and the product itself is very pure. On standard, on our spec, we ensure a minimum of 99.7% active, but in reality, most of our lots are produced at 99.9% purity, with no residual solvent, no ethylaldehyde, of course, and no residual. It's good for the skin as well, in the sense that it's not irritant. We tested it up to important ratio, so it's good for different applications in personal care, like eye contact and other application. It's good for the planet, again, because we use biogenic carbon. The use of biogenic carbon helps us to have some advantage in a life cycle assessment. So we ran a full life cycle assessment on our material to confirm the benefit of our technology, and by showing essentially that you can achieve a 50% carbon emission when replacing your conventional butane glycol with our material. For every kilogram of brown tide replacing petroleum-based butane glycol, you achieve a 1.92 kilo CO2 equivalent by kilos. This has been quite interesting because the life cycle assessment is becoming a tool used to assess the different formula, not only at a corporate level, but we have seen an emerging trend also on the formula to evaluate the impact of each individual formula at the pack. Good for formulators, I've mentioned, same inky, no difference. You can use it as a drop-in replacement. We have also now tried to differentiate a little bit more by entering into some application tests to try to identify the potential differences, mostly due to the absence of the conventional impurities. So we know, for example, that it has a better compatibility with peptides than the conventional butane glycol. We believe it has to do with the low carbonin content in our material in comparison to the synthetic butane glycol, and we did so all the work to facilitate the replacement in the formulation. It's also found in nature, so this also has been an interesting finding because it gives us a new direction, which is trying to go ahead in the route of the biomimetism, trying to build a story that not only it's a natural product, which doesn't go through any chemical conversion during each process, but also it replicates what is already present in the nature. Of course, at trace level, still the molecule exists in nature, and therefore we can claim that it's not only naturally occurring, but it is a natural ingredient present in nature, and that we produce via fermentation, a natural process. So it has a natural index of 1 and a natural origin index of 1 under the ISO. And again, this is something that people are looking when evaluating our material. And thank you for your time and attention. And here on the Cornelius booth, if you want to ask me any question on the product or the process or the company. Thank you.